No. This isn't what's supposed to happen. No, the game was supposed to finish today. And within me is a demon. And the demon is like, remembered what happened in January at the GABBA. And it's doing the melting face. Whoever did that. Is that a Dali? Or a Dali, as we call him here? Salvador Dali, the Dali M's.
Laurie, for sure.
Yes, yeah. Laurie Daly did
his nickname.
Did the script
Mark
thing.
Coyne scored.
I think it might be. That's someone else. It's like a Munch or something like that. Munch. G'day. Welcome back to the Great Cricketer, brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. My name is me, and the other guy is the other guy. G'day.
G'day.
Rollicking start. Sorry, I was just really expecting this to be over like lunch today.
Yeah.
But it's not. England are 2 for 220. They started the day 196 runs behind Australia. They finished the day 58 runs behind Australia. And there's something in the air, Pez, and I don't like it, but I'll give it to you in grey terms. Absolute road. It's just a road now. None of these runs count. It's flat. All right?
Dare I say, as the first venture of praise to England.
Well, not in my notes. Flatty.
Yeah. I said aye.
Yeah, sure.
Good decision by Root at the toss.
Oh, good toss to win. Good toss to win.
2010 was a similar situation. England made a few more in the first innings.
Yeah.
Australia then boshed 480 or something.
That's right.
135 to Haddon, 190 on Hussey.
Mm-hmm.
And then England hit 1 for 517.
With South Africa number 3.
Yep. Everyone, of all of the comments that are made...
African, it's so harsh.
Yeah. Of all the comments made about the GABBA pitch, which literally ticks every single box of what a pitch could be,
Not for me, mate.
everyone agrees that day 3 is good batting.
Yeah.
And so it proved today.
Well, mate, exactly. I want to get into a good chat about Joe Root in a moment, but just to set it up, of the first of the 3 things today, Australia scored way too many was the note that I put down this morning. Head finishes with 152. Australia 425 all out.
Well, are you revising that? Are you revising that now? Is it still too many?
Yeah.
You're doubling down.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Really?
This England team.
Why are you doing that?
This England team is nowhere near
Oh
the
my
2010
God, you're doing
team.
that?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Wow.
If England escaped this with anything other than an admirable loss, it'll be a remarkable achievement.
No one's doubting that, but at this point in time, England, how many are they in a race? 58?
58.
2 down.
Yeah, Australia won't bat again.
Big. You joke about it. I mean, we're not sure about Hazelwood at the moment.
Yeah.
That could be a bowler down.
Could be.
They're a session away, like a decent session, maybe 3/4 of a session away from parity. If they don't lose a wicket there,
Sure.
mate, this game's fucking on. He goes.
So Australia.
You think this is just have a sleep, boys, rock and roll them in the morning,
Yes.
and all out of the side of your mouth.
Yes.
That's you. And you're doing
Yes.
that because of your what your commitments are as a male from Australia, or are you doing that because that's your considered cricketing opinion?
3 things: unnecessary patriotism.
Yep.
2, man stuff, bit of male gear,
Okay.
and thirdly, no one gives a fuck about anything that I say, and so it's just more interesting if I just take a hardened approach. But I do think that Australia will win the game, and like let's say England finish.
So this show today is just like, let's praise a couple of good performances, which ultimately going to be a little parentheses in a processional Australian victory.
If England score 500 in this innings, which they might, Australia would then need to chase 230, something like that, on a wicket that England, who can't bat, have just hit 500 on.
Not on day 4 or 5.
Sure, and Leach is going to bowl them out.
Well,
It can happen because they're professional athletes, and no one in the England team is a really bad player. Of course it can happen.
I'm not talking about England winning
It won't
necessarily.
happen.
Hey, yesterday I said the game was over. You said it was over today.
Yeah.
Now that's changed.
It has changed.
It's England's day, big time. And
Yeah.
and as you said at the top, with the Laurie Daly painting, we got demons.
Yeah.
Australia,
And they're multiplying.
it's a satanic version of Greece.
That was Yeah.
We got demons. We love to front run at the Gabba.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when the attack starts
we're
looking
front
a bit,
runners.
Starts looking a bit samey, it's a bit, where's the next one coming from?
Okay, well, there's heaps we'll get into, but just in the Australian innings, Head, great innings. Mate, I've got a thing with what's Cummins doing at 8? And I've been saying this for a little while. He averages 16. He's got 2 Test 50s. Mitchell Starc bats 9. He's got 10 Test 50s and averages 6 more runs than Cummins. Cummins in the last 3 years has averaged 10.
Yeah,
he's not as good a batter as Starc.
He averages facing more balls though, which is helpful.
That's interesting. Yeah,
which is helpful for top order or middle order players that are still in.
I can see the benefit in that context. If Starc is batting with the higher batters, which of course he would be batting at 8, then they can extend the innings that way. And Starc scores in a pretty quick clip. I don't really know what that means.
A clip,
good clip. A good clip.
Is it like I think of like a clip clop of a horse,
it's more horse gear.
It always comes back to a horse.
Fuck, we love a Brumby here, don't we?
Oh yeah, well it's a totem.
Yeah.
You know?
We being the white settlers just seen a Brumby and be like, what the fuck is that? Give me some of that, and then just built some language around that. Into Indigenous gear there. All right, second thing, unless you want to talk about anything else in the batting innings.
Nah, all good.
Joe Root, most runs ever for England in a calendar year. Now, Michael Vaughan held the record previously. I remember him. 2002 was that year. He got 1,481 runs in the year. Joe Root now is on 1,550 plus. He's averaging 67 this year. He's got 600s. We've said this before. Only 5 blokes ever have hit more than 700s in a year. That's Viv, Ponting, Aravinda de Silva, Yusuf, and Sachin.
Like, I'm not really taking in what you're saying there, other than you're just saying words that are like serotonin to me. It's just like 700s, Aravinda, Sachin, Viv,
names.
like that. Just names, 1,500 plus 6. It's just everything he's doing is just it's god level stuff this year.
Early in this innings, he looked fucking good. He's so still.
Mate, he's looked great all innings. He looks $1 million fucking dollars.
He looked good nicking off in the first dig. I like that. He is for me. He is the best player in the world at the moment. Like, no question about that. And I think remember like when we were kids, and then guys like Brian. Oh, happy days. That's right. One for the kids there. When Sachin used to come out of Brian Lara, and people used to go to the ground like wanting to watch those guys bat, which is a foreign idea to me, because I was like, no, I just want to fucking bounce everyone, get them out. Exactly. They're foreigners. I don't think if you get a chance to go to the Ashes this year, you're going to watch one of the best players that has come to these shores in this kind of form. I think in my lifetime. I'm 35. I think this guy is fucking just seeing him. Well, there's an obvious beach ball gear, but he's the best player in the world at the moment, bar none. And there are some good players knocking about.
He could be in the middle of his magnum opus in this innings. I mean, he is playing sensationally.
Yeah.
He looks so good.
He doesn't look getting out.
He played everyone off his proverbial today. Oh, well, I'll just say it. Off his cock.
Wow.
You just said that.
Yeah. And the 5th test is going to be in Hobart, which is that's how they greet you there. Hey, cock. so do something with that, mate. It's a word association.
All I could think about was a stupid chat on Twitter about the capacity of Hobart as they got announced the 5th test. Someone was like, they said that the most they've ever been there is 28,000, and someone had to write under, well, everyone's got 2 heads.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Tassie stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just not convinced that Australia's relationship to the sport, and I will be speaking for the country on this.
Yep,
you go to 1 day of the test per year per summer, if that. If there's 2 tests in the same city, are you going twice? Maybe. Mate,
I think it's a good decision.
I like it. I like Hobart as a stadium. I think everyone wins. Except for Perth.
Sorry to come back to parent stuff, but like I just sort of think everyone gets a go. Sydney, you've had your test. Melbourne, you've had your test.
The boy watch.
Exactly. Where my father did.
Take him down to farmers market.
Thrusting away. Okay, so Joe Root.
Yeah. Mate, he's the best player that's come to Australia in my lifetime in terms of form.
I mean, is this a shock jock show now?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. After
There's
the break, we're going to talk about sex.
There's a lot of fucking like he's in scintillating form, and he showed it today. And I think more just relevant to the match. I mean, he played Nathan Lyon particularly easily.
Yep. He's the best player of spin
I've seen in my life, and possibly beyond.
Yeah.
Mate. I mean, that's another reason why I think that I don't think Australia has any designs on anything at the moment.
Sure.
I just hope they get a good sleep and that the bush horse can bowl.
Just a good night's kit.
Yeah.
Give me the clip.
Man, this is. Maybe do you want to get into this with a third thing?
Well, I want to say about Milan as well.
Oh yeah, he played.
Yeah, he's on 80 off 170, something like that. He's on 80 off 177. Real fighting dig. He played and missed a lot. I don't think he was lucky in any sense, but he was brought in for Zach Crawley, who struggled massively after he got that double ton against Pakistan. Since then, he was averaging about -7. And so they brought in Milan for stability, and like he now has I think of his 957 in Australia. Seriously, great selection in terms of bringing him in, and gives
He's
a
hit
nice
950s, 5 of them in Australia.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's good. It's good. It makes a lot more sense. I think Zach Crawley might play in this series, but if Milan's batting this well, I mean, he's going to be a lock, because what happened today will happen forever.
Milan is tidy. He's a tidy cricketer. Even when he gets out and stuff like that, there's something stable about him. There's something safe from an English perspective.
I think
as a number 3, he's got the right height as well. He's got the right muscle tone.
Yeah,
he's got the right
good shadow in the beard.
He's got the right beard vector. He's got the right facial expressions. He's got the right wrinkles.
He's got a certain squint in the eye.
Yeah, he squints correctly in our country.
That's right.
He leaves you with the impression that he knows what he's doing. You know, he's a dad walking into the shop who knows how to manage his way around the transaction.
That's right.
No, but he does, as opposed to a number of other English batters. Like people, you might laugh at
they
that.
go to the wrong counter. Like, oh no,
but
I want to buy condoms, but I now got to offset it with a Diet Coke.
You're wearing the wrong clothes. It doesn't sit on your arms right.
Yeah.
Milan is not that. Like Milan, he's a foreigner, but. If you're playing grade cricket and you watched him play, like you saw him play, you'd be like, he knows how to hold himself. He stands correctly. He holds his body correctly. I don't know how to provide evidence for any of those things other than that's the feel. And, his bat moves languidly. He's suggesting with his bat movements that he's not rushed by anybody.
Yeah.
He doesn't hop. Just little things like that. He doesn't have any body language that suggests he's struggling.
No cricket players are ballers. Except for Usman Khawaja, that's in his Twitter bio or Insta bio or something. Yeah. But he's a guy that you just, he's a player. I can see.
He plays.
He plays. He's
a pro.
Yeah, he's a pro.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
They've hired a pro.
Yeah. They've got an overseas pro in.
He's got an overseas pro.
Literally.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. I like it. I think as well that the 2 wickets that fell in England's innings, Hamid and Burns.
Hamid looked good.
Both of the way they got out highlights the difficulties of foreigners coming in batting in Australia, because I've seen the way Rory Burns got out. He was like trying to cut that ball sort of 7th stump outside. Now I've seen him play that a million times at the Oval, and he scored bucket loads for Surrey before the.
You still got him scoring 7,000 Test runs.
7,000 silly, but he's already on about just under 2. He is a good player.
He only needs 5 more.
Yeah, he might get him tomorrow. I don't know. That's going to be a hell of an innings, especially when he's already out. But like the way he played that, like he's hit that shot in his life so many times in England, and in Australia, a little bit of extra bounce, a little bit of extra pace. Same with Hamid. He's so good tickling it down the fine leg and getting it behind square on the leg side, but just a little bit of extra pace and it hits the glove and sort of the shoulder of the bat. And that's the difference. And we spoke to Russell Arnold very briefly about a year and a half ago or something like that. And it's probably more pronounced when Sri Lankans or some of the Asian countries come out. Those guys play because they are typically a lot lower bounce. But then your access to scoring shots is completely changed from balls that you've seen bounce a million times in your life, and then you can't do it anymore. Anyway, so that kind of highlights how well Milan has played, and Root, who has never scored a Test century in Australia, and he's been out here a few times. So, but fuck me, man. Like, seriously, I would love to know in the comments someone that's seen a batter that come out to Australia who's in better form, in a better place, because there have been better players come out to Australia. Kohli's probably a better player, but I don't think we've ever seen Pete Kohli in Australia. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas Root is in the fucking magnum opus summer. I think he's such a good player, and this is the best batter that we've seen from another country in a long time is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Third thing. Will Lyon ever take a wicket again? I don't know if this has been covered at all, but he's on 399 Test wickets. I reckon he'll get it this series, the 400.
Oh, mate, that's the biggest call you've made.
He finished number 69 off his 24 overs today. Don't think he bowled a bad spell. No bad overs in that necessarily. He didn't look threatening in the sense that he was going to get a wicket every ball.
One or two sort of ragged, and then the rest didn't really.
He almost bowled Milan, sort of left one quite early in his spell, just missed off stump. He beat the edge a couple of times. He bowled nicely. Joe Root's a great player of spin. As I said earlier, he's the best player maybe ever in the history of the game. But it's a little bit concerning. It's a little bit concerning that he hasn't taken like wickets in ages. I know I haven't played in a year, but like I think he's only taken 10 wickets in his last probably 6 tests.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stats piling up because they didn't play a test match in the whole year, and then it's all this pre-COVID, and there's been 4 variants since his last wicket.
Right, okay.
All that sort of
I
gear.
like it.
He can look quite samey, Nathan Lyon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for is there, mate, I was just watching these guys today. I feel like for the last 10, 20 years, watching Australia bowl in the third innings is always so different to watching them bowl in the first innings. I don't know if it's a particularly Australian thing, but is there a side that can have such a gap between essentially being the best bowling unit in the world or that we've seen in 10, 20 years in Australia, and then just being samey, unimaginative, not looking like getting a wicket, without really plans, waiting for mistakes on the bat. It's really a function of entitlement and lack of patience, which is brought on by the internet and bite-sized communication generally. But nevertheless, Lyon contributes to that. And then today, look, I think the Hazelwood's a really interesting one. He bowled 8 overs today.
Yeah.
Cummins bowled 14.
Yeah.
Green bowled 7. Lyon bowled 24.
Stark bowled 14.
And after the day's play, I should say, Marnus, who was put up by Australia, said that Hazelwood was fresh and he was just being fresh and rested for tomorrow. If that's the case, why wasn't he bowled today when Australia was desperate for a wicket? So either way, if he's fresh, that's the first criticism I would have of Cummins' captaincy. And if he's not fresh and he's injured, why not just say so?
Well, now it's interesting tomorrow because there's 10 overs before the new ball.
Yeah.
So how do you start tomorrow? Because Hazelwood has to take the new ball if he can bowl.
Yeah.
So, and does Stark, is it Cummins and Hazelwood? Then who bowls the first 10 overs? And then it's you can get sort of Root and Milan can sort of get into the innings by facing 60 balls before the new rock I don't think Stark bowled well today. But, it was the best day for batting. It was flat today.
Yeah.
Didn't swing, not much sideways stuff at all.
Ponting speaks about Stark really well. It's just, when the ball's swinging, he's a complete handful, and when he's not swinging, he's not in the top 3 quicks in Australia. Look, he comes on to bowl. I find the best analogy with Stark to be like Stuart McGill. I mean, he comes on, he's a strike bowler. The way he got Rory Burns is it's not a full toss like a Stuart McGill full toss, but it's understood in the context of everything else they do. It's quick. You don't really see it. It curves strangely, and McGill used to do that with the way he spun the ball sometimes as well. He'd beat you, then you get a full toss and hit it down mid-wicket's throat. Stark comes at you, he tries to take wickets, he goes really hard, he bowls really aggressive lengths. But when all of that assistance goes away, yes, he's quite gun barrel too, which left it pretty much to Cummins, who bowled well. Lyon was ineffectual, and Cameron Green. And
I thought Green actually bowled a couple of nice spells. A little bit short, but it's the best I've seen him bowl thus far in his short test career. But I wonder if we're looking at 22/25 guys that aren't fit because they've been in quarantine and all the rain in Queensland. And I also wonder if that is why Broad and Anderson haven't played, given that we saw Ollie Robinson at the end of yesterday breaking down with cramp. Stokes doesn't look fully fit, regardless of his knee anyway, because he was off the pace before that injury happened. His first 5 overs yesterday were not as sharp as what we've seen. And so I wonder if they want to put more work into the legs of Anderson and Broad, and that's part of the reason why they weren't selected, which sort of adds more context.
More work into the legs, more work around the track, more track work. 6 a.m. Horses, Royal Ascot.
Clip-clop.
Yeah, clip-clop, Royal Ascot. One more thing, here goes.
Go on.
Justin Langer spoke today on Channel 7, and he said one of the things where we have a massive competitive advantage is we have a world-class spinner. Just note that comment, I reckon. Just note that comment. Not necessarily for saying Jack Leach is going to take 7 in the final innings.
Yeah.
But to my mind, at that point in time, a session into the day, Australia with the foot on the throat, clip clop. It's they're about to win in a procession before Joe Root and David Malan do their thing. It's a completely unnecessary comment. It's a comment that's graceless at best. It's completely at odds with the way Cummins is leading the team, which is just to play and shut the fuck up. They've not been carrying on in any way. He's trying to drive some kind of psychological advantage that's unnecessary for a bloke that's been hit out of the series already. And at worst, he motivates Leach, who may have a role to play in the 4th innings if the ball starts spinning. Why say it? Justin Lang's been doing his best coaching, shutting up and staying in the background. And he gets on the camera with Australia poised to win, trying to take some kind of presumably credit for the plan to Jack Leach. Completely unnecessary.
He's probably picking up line though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's probably...
He went on to say, Jack Leach and Dom Best, they're still quite young spinners.
yeah.
So, yeah, he is probably bigging up line.
Jack Leach has got like 350 first-class wickets.
Jack Leach is 30. We want to put them under pressure and then get England and get England thinking what their selection strategy is going to be. So he goes, he's not just bigging up Nathan Lyon. It's a deliberate comment. He's gone. It has the ring of someone who's said that deliberately. It's a completely unnecessary comment.
Hashtag AskTGC brought to you by our dear friends at ACO. Hammer Time tweeted, and I put this in the agenda a while ago. Hashtag AskTGC with head making 150 odd, Stark hitting bombs, Bush Horse landing it on a dime, Haydos into the Kubra, and us fucking pummeling the Poms. Is this the GABBA Nirvana we have been so desperately searching for? Well, it was a fine question at the time.
Oh, you want me to answer that? Well,
Australia's going to win this game easily.
Mate,
you're not having it, are you? You're not having it.
I'm not. What I'm not having is the certitude. You know, like I'm not like it's just bravado. Like it's really all it is. Like the maths of the game is they need 60 runs.
I'm basing that off the history of Test cricket.
The history of the fucking Gabba suggests that you can be well in front and things can change quickly. I'm also thinking the Bush Horse is injured. You know, and like
I reckon there's something going on there.
Yeah, GABBA Nirvana. Well, other countries have experienced GABBA Nirvana. I mean,
Nirvana might be Joe Root's dog's name when he fucking hits 300 tomorrow.
You have to share a dog with Washi.
Yeah.
I think if I got this question yesterday, the answer would be yes, emphatically. My clothes would be off. I'd be drenching myself in that Nirvana.
Yeah.
And today, I say it out of respect to Joe Root. I think Australia will win the game too. I think Australia's still ahead in the game. But England have had a fucking stirring day, and they've brought themselves back into it. And Australia have a big history, he goes, of creating momentum but struggling to reverse it.
This team does. Yes, they do.
This
is the best day for England and Australia in 10 years.
Yeah, when someone takes it to Australia, Australia are no sure thing. They need to do something different. And let's see what's happening with the Bush Horse.
Let's get these blokes off the fucking front dog.
Yeah, that's it. Just
get it through the fucking chest.
Or take the Mark Wood approach, huh? That was an accident.
Bit of AJ Tydovinsky. Sorry.
All
right, what's going to happen tomorrow? Fuck, I don't know, but I'm excited and nervous and other feelings that I can't convey.
Horny.
See you tomorrow.